While thinking about that, someone suddenly entered her mind. Becky. Especially what happened between them inside the restroom. She remembered every part of Becky's gentle face. Her soft, short hair, her smooth, round cheeks, her brown eyes, her small yet sharp nose, and her red lips. Suddenly, Freen That night ended with Freen still being quiet. One by one, Freen dropped off her friends at the waiting area, while Becky was the last person she would take home, since her house was on the way. They were driving along the road, and the only sound filling the car was the music from the stereo. "Freen?" Becky called. "Yes?" she asked, without even looking at her. "By the way, why did you suddenly disappear after the coronation night?" Hearing Becky's question made Freen tighten her grip on the steering wheel. "I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but do you have a problem with me?" Freen stayed silent. She didn't know what to say. She didn't know what excuse to give. "It's okay if you don't want to answer." "I don't have a problem with you," Freen suddenly interrupted. Becky looked at her. "I just don't usually talk to people I don't really know." "I see," Becky said sadly. "Oh, we're here." Freen stopped the car in front of a house. The house looked simple. It was a one-story house with 3 houses standing side by side and surrounded by Bermuda grass. The houses were painted black and white, and Freen could tell that Becky probably wasn't the only one living there. She then noticed an elderly woman standing outside the gate. Even though she was older, her beauty still stood out. She was wearing eyeglasses. "Thank you for driving me home," Becky said before opening the door. Freen only nodded without looking at her. "Okay, drive safely on your way home." With that, Becky stepped out of the car. Freen saw Becky walk toward the older woman and kiss her on the cheek. She knew right away that it was Becky's mother. A few moments later, Freen drove away, while Becky stayed there watching her leave. "Becky? Who was that?" Flor Marie asked. It was already 10 o'clock at night when Freen arrived at the condo unit she was paying monthly for. She had been living alone ever since Trixie moved back to her own house. Freen was born in Phuket, Thailand, because her mother, Mary Tess, was from there. But she grew up and studied in Nonthaburi because her father, Samuel, was from there. While thinking about that, her messenger notification suddenly rang. She quickly grabbed her phone from her bag. "Hi, Mommy!" A very cute little boy greeted her on the screen. "Hi, baby. How's my little baby?" she happily asked while looking at him through the camera. "Mommy, I have stars," he said with a smile while showing his arm with 3 stars stamped on it. "Wow, I'm so proud of you, honey. Always be good in school, okay?" While talking to him, she suddenly felt tears forming in her eyes. "Yes, Mommy," he answered, before his face suddenly turned sad. "Mommy, I miss you. I miss you so much. I want to see you. can I see you now?" She heard him say that before he moved away from the camera and got busy playing with his toy. Then Milrie appeared on the screen. "Ah, Freen, how's your training going?" she asked with a smile. Freen looked away from the camera first to wipe her tears before facing it again. "It's going well, Mommy. It's only the first day, but it's already intense," she said while laughing. "You know we're very proud of you, sweetheart. I know you can do all of this. You're our breadwinner after all." "Thank you, Mommy. How's Davi? Is he still very naughty?" she asked while smiling, though the sadness in her eyes could not be hidden. "As usual, sweetheart, but it's okay because Kiana is here with me." She pointed the camera at Freen's younger sister, who was dancing while holding her own phone. "Hi, sis," she greeted. "Hello." Her mother pointed the camera back at herself. They continued talking for a while until her mother finally said goodbye. With red eyes and nose, Freen lay down on her bed after the call ended. While thinking about that, someone suddenly entered her mind. Becky. Especially what happened between them inside the restroom. She remembered every part of Becky's gentle face. Her soft, short hair, her smooth, round cheeks, her brown eyes, her small yet sharp nose, and her red lips. Suddenly, Freen felt her heart beating fast again. A strange feeling that she could not understand. A strange feeling that she had never felt before. Okay, since you already know how to do first aid, find a partner and use the CPR equipment you see in front of me, Mrs. Smith said the next morning while standing in front of the large room and facing her trainees. Freen looked at Trixie because she wanted her to be her partner. But unfortunately, Trixie was already smiling while holding Karen's arm. Then she looked at Cheska, but another trainee had already approached her first. Mrs. Smith noticed Freen and called her. "Miss Sarocha, since you and Miss Armstrong were the ones who demonstrated yesterday, you two can be partners again today and serve as leaders for your classmates. Come here to the front first." "Us again, Mrs. Smith?" Freen thought sarcastically while hiding the annoyance on her face. Becky happily followed and immediately got a CPR face shield. Freen had no choice but to go to the front and help Becky get the other equipment they needed. A few moments later, Mrs. Smith was already giving instructions. Everyone inside the room was busy demonstrating. Freen and Becky stood beside each other while pretending to rescue a mannequin. Because they were rushing and feeling nervous, there were moments when their hands accidentally touched. "Sorry," they both said at the same time before quickly looking away from each other and focusing back on the mannequin. That training session finally ended. "Girls, I have a great idea," Trixie said with a grin right after Mrs. Smith left the room. "What?" Cheska asked excitedly. "Since tomorrow is the weekend, let's have a party. I think we deserve to relax too, right? What do you think?" "Oh!" Cheska clapped her hands excitedly. "I like that!" "I'll pass, Trix. I need to study. You know how it is. There are exams every day. I can't fail," Freen replied while shaking her head. "You know, Freen, you've become so boring. You weren't like this before," Cheska said with a pout. "Leave Freen alone. You know she's serious about life now," Karen said jokingly. "Then let's just go ourselves," Trixie said cheerfully as she put her arms around Cheska and Karen. Freen looked at Trixie in confusion. Because she didn't even try to force her? Secretly, Freen felt relieved and happy that they didn't force her. Saturday. It was almost noon when Freen woke up because she had stayed up late talking to her mother, Milrie, the previous night. Ever since her father left them, she had become even closer to her mother. Her mother had even become her best friend. When she opened the window, the bright sunlight greeted her. Since her condo unit was on the 3rd floor, she could clearly see the parking lot below. she frowned after noticing a familiar car parked there. Her frown deepened when she suddenly heard repeated knocking outside her door. Annoyed, she opened it and was greeted by their laughing faces. Trixie? Yes, it's me, Trixie said while laughing before entering the condo without permission. Cheska and Karen followed behind her while laughing too. Huh? Why are you here? Freen asked with a frown. Trixie sat on the long sofa in the living room. Well, we're here to pick you up. What? Go take a bath, Freen. We'll wait for you, Cheska said with a grin. She was already sitting on the sofa while fixing herself with a large mirror. But didn't I say no excuses? Come on, Cheska interrupted before suddenly putting down her mirror and walking toward Freen. She quickly grabbed Freen by the shoulders, turned her toward the bathroom door, and pushed her inside. When she saw Freen's towel hanging on the towel bar, she still wasn't satisfied. With a grin, she grabbed it and threw it directly at Freen's face. Freen only shook her head with furrowed brows before closing the door. She had no choice anymore. After Freen finished taking a bath and getting ready, they headed to the parking area where Trixie's car was parked. Trixie's family was also well off, so it wasn't surprising that she had her own car. You can ride with me, Freen. I'll bring you home later, Trixie said cheerfully while laughing. Okay, Freen answered seriously. As soon as she opened the front passenger door, her eyes widened in shock when the smiling face that greeted her was Becky. Hi, Freen.